Warframe came out over 10 years ago in March of 2013. So why am I talking about it now? Well, Warframe has since stood the test of time. Its developers frequently drop updates that introduce new content and revamp entire game mechanics, all for the low price of free. That's right, Warframe is a game that should set the standard for what a free-to-play game should be. It's one of the only free-to-play games that isn't filled to the brim with predatory microtransaction. A game like this deserves far more attention in my opinion, so let's dive a bit deeper. Warframe is a free-to-play, intensely fast-paced, third-person shooter. You play as a member of the Tenno, an ancient race of space ninjas who have recently awoken from a centuries-long hibernation. As a Tenno, you're able to pilot incredibly powerful armored suits known as Warframes, and there are a ton of different Warframes that offer a variety of abilities, builds, and playstyles. The gameplay is quite easy to pick up despite how fast-paced and seemingly random it is. At its core, it's a third-person action shooter. As a result, your Tenno can be equipped with a primary and secondary ranged weapon, along with a melee weapon. Weapons control in a very traditional fashion. You aim and shoot. The recoil on most guns feel chunky yet easily manageable, which is great. You'll be fighting against hordes of enemies while running around really fast, so having the weapons be easy to manage is a good thing. Of course, you wouldn't be much of a ninja if you couldn't do ninja things, right? Running, sliding, wall running, or climbing are all here and they feel great. I remember back in early 2014 when I first picked this game up, I was blown away by how great the sliding felt, and it still feels as fluid as it used to. Sliding and doing a jumping spin out of it into a double jump wall run combo really makes you feel like an Olympic gold medalist. Your falling speed also slows down while you aim your weapon, which gives you kind of a bullet time that lets you destroy enemies while you're flying around. It just feels great. But of course, that's not all. There's also a very well done melee combat system. Each melee weapon is unique and they have their own special gimmick. For example, I've been using the heat sword just to max out its rank, and while it's regarded as a pretty low tier weapon, it still wrecks and feels great to use, which is a testament to how fun the combat in this game is. You might be wondering, why are you trying to max out a sword that's not very good? Well, that's because in order to unlock more weapons and Warframes to craft, you need to increase your mastery rank. This is such a cool system to me because it actively encourages players to use and level up different weapons. Each weapon gets to level 30 before capping, I believe, which doesn't take too long. Oftentimes a mission will bring up your weapon level multiple times, so it doesn't feel like too much of a grind. And that brings me to one of the aspects that people may love or hate, and that's the grind. This game is all about that grind for weapons and Warframes. Oftentimes you'll be repeating missions for the chance that it'll drop a rare material or crafting blueprint you need to make that new weapon or Warframe. That is when you're not engaging with the story. Warframe has about 20 main quests for the player to complete along with side quests and character-driven quests. The first quest is incredibly simple and sets the basis for the overarching story to be built upon. Essentially, the Tenno, an ancient race of cyborg ninjas, were put into cryosleep by a mysterious woman named the Lotus. The solar system is now in need of these warriors to help save it from warring factions, the Grineer and the Corpus, who dominate it. The Lotus has been reawaking these Tenno, but a powerful Grineer captain named Vor has been hot on her tail, killing or capturing a lot of the Tenno she's been awakening. Fortunately for us, we're just built different, so we managed to escape Vor after finding a somewhat busted up spaceship for us. From then on, we get to use our ship as a base of operations. This is where you can start new missions, craft items, and modify your gear. And that's the first mission pretty much. A great introduction. From then on, you make your way through the solar system, mission by mission, in order to save it. There is a set path of missions you have to complete for each planet in the solar system. Once they're done, a junction opens up where you'll have to fight another Warframe as a kind of boss fight, which is pretty cool. After that, you progress to the next planet and so on. Missions and quests, however, are two distinct things. A quest may have you play a special quest type mission on a planet, or it could have you completing a side objective. There are more general missions you can complete as you progress through the solar system. There are a lot of different mission types or objectives, from capturing or assassinating a target to defense missions, which are my personal favorite. It's just an endless onslaught of wave upon wave of enemies, and you can go for as long as you like, racking up better and better mission rewards. They're fun when you're playing alone, but they're an absolute blast when you're playing with a full squad, slicing through hordes of enemies like butter as you all jump and flip wildly throughout the map. Missions will usually pay out crafting materials, weapon mods, blueprints, and of course XP, to name a few. That's not to mention the randomly generated level design. It's essentially a tile-based system, so you'll see the same rooms but organized differently every time. Tile appearances also depends on what planet or mission you're playing. This adds a lot of uniqueness, as even playing the same mission will yield a different map layout every time. Of course, weapons and Warframes will get stronger as they level up, but that's not all. The weapon mod system in this game is one of the most intricate weapon modification systems I've seen in a game. The sheer amount of weapon mods available is amazing. Not only do they increase different damage types or resistances, but they can make some pretty drastic changes. I think I've laid out the fundamentals of what Warframe is, but honestly, with the amount of updates this game continuously gets, it's hard to keep up. There's just so much content here to talk about. I didn't even mention sentinels, which are these little companion robot things you can build. Of course, you can also upgrade and mod them to help you out even more. There's even eggs you can hatch to get your own pets to follow you around and help you fight, so we Pokemon now, I guess. What else? Oh yeah, there's PvP, but no one really plays the PvP. Movement is just way too fast-paced and hectic to make for an enjoyable PvP experience. Also, PvP uses separate mods, so the ones you've earned in PvE don't transfer. Warframe is mainly meant to be a PvE experience though anyway, so it's not really a huge deal. While the game is mainly PvE, the community here is still thriving and strong to this day. Players can start and join clans. Clan owners can build and design their own dojos for people to join. There's also special resource options and unlockables for clans as an incentive, which is really cool. All this content available for the price of $0. This is a free-to-play game, so how is the monetization system? Many free-to-play games nowadays are stuffed with timed monetization schemes like refreshing storefronts or a battle pass. Or even worse, loot boxes, and pay-to-win weapons. Well, Warframe differs from this. There is a similar system to battle passes called Nightwave, which are essentially timed missions for levels that earn you weapon blueprints, cosmetics, and stuff. But guess what? It's entirely free for everyone. This is the only battle pass I've ever seen that's not locked behind a paywall, which for a free-to-play game in 2024 is incredible. There's a premium currency in this game called Platinum, and yes, you can use it to buy whatever Warframe or weapon you want, but you can get pretty much any Warframe or weapon for free. In this context, Platinum acts as a kind of shortcut to a weapon or Warframe a new player might want to try without grinding for it. Since a huge aspect of this game is about grinding for more gear and leveling them up to increase your mastery rank, I see little to no issue with being able to buy something here or there. There's also a player market here where you can trade what you have for Platinum or use your Platinum to buy things from other players, usually at a cheaper price than in the store. Really, the only thing exclusive to Platinum are cosmetics. But even then, you can grind for an item, sell it on the market, and boom, you have enough to buy the cosmetic you want. There is one weapon in Warframe type that pretty much everyone, regardless of how much plat they have, will have to grind to get, and they're called the prime variants of any weapon or Warframe. Like the name suggests, they're essentially the strongest variants, and they are ridiculously hard to get. Some part blueprints for a prime weapon will only have a chance to drop if you use a relic. Relics are rare mission rewards. Each of them are different in what they could drop. You open them by equipping them and completing a special mission called a Void Fissure mission. The drops for some prime weapons can be crazy rare, so there's a lot of RNG involved if you want to grind for a prime weapon or Warframe. Personally, I get it. Primes are supposed to be the best of the best, so it has to be somewhat difficult to acquire them. There have been graphics improvements made to the game over time, and while the graphics are nothing special, they definitely hold up today and they're serviceable, albeit a bit too generic sci-fi for my taste. All in all, the content for this game outdoes most AAA games these days. I played this game for the first time almost 10 years ago, so it's incredible to see how much it's grown since then. The fact that the player base is still active is a testament to how great this game really is. It's free to play and there's absolutely no predatory microtransactions in sight. This game should be the example that other games follow for how to implement microtransactions in an unobtrusive way. If you have the time, I totally recommend that you try this game out. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. Like if you liked the video. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.